The offer stands until Friday, Landon Valeria said, his voice smooth as a blade. After that, my board will initiate a hostile takeover. Ranata Kensington didn't blink. Get out of my building, Landon. He smiled faintly, scanning the lobby until his gaze landed on a janitor buffing the marble floor. Still hiring philosophers, I see, he mocked. Perhaps your janitor has better advice. He certainly sees the company from the ground up. Renata's composure cracked for a second. Then, sharp and cold, you heard him. Give me your brilliant advice. The janitor stopped the buffer, silence filled the lobby. Cancel the Kberis acquisition, he said evenly. Your offshore holding clause isn't firewalled. It's rigged to transfer controlling interest when you sign. You're not buying them, you're selling yourself. The stillness that followed was lethal. Landon's smirk faltered, Renata's eyes narrowed. What did you just say? The janitor met her stare. You'll lose 51% the moment ink hits paper. Landon snapped, insane. Fire him. Renata didn't move. Her tone cut through his outrage, security. Escort Mr. Valerius out. Landon froze, disbelief twisting into fury as guards stepped forward. You can't be serious, he hissed. Renata's gaze stayed on the janitor. I am. As Landon was forced toward the doors, he turned back, voice trembling with venom. You have no idea what you're protecting. The glass shut behind him. Silence again. Renata pointed at the janitor. You. Upstairs. Now. He followed, pulse hammering. In her top-floor office she faced him. Who are you? Nate Rowe. Night maintenance. Don't play games, she snapped. 3 people know about that clause, me, my counsel, and Valerius. So how? Nate held her stare. Public records, financial filings, and pattern recognition. Some traps repeat. Renata circled him slowly. You expect me to believe you uncovered a billion-dollar vulnerability from paperwork? No, he said. I expect you to believe your company's already under attack. She paused, calculating. You think this clause was deliberate? I know it is. It's a weapon disguised as a deal. A long silence. Then Renata spoke, measured and lethal. I'm in a war, Mr. Rowe, and you may have just walked into the battlefield. You have 48 hours. Prove it's a setup, find the leak, and tell me how to destroy him. Nate swallowed hard. And if I can't? Then you vanish for good. She pressed a button. Karen, issue Alpha Prime clearance for a Mr. Nathaniel Rowe. Full access. Effective immediately. The intercom confirmed. Renata turned back to him. You start now. Nate nodded once. He was no longer a janitor, he was a ghost reborn. Nate Rowe sat in a glass-walled strategy suite, the entire company's digital skeleton open before him. Lines of code, contracts, and financial trails merged into one terrifying pattern. He bypassed encryption, followed revision logs, and found it, a midnight upload from an offshore IP. Someone had added a new clause to the Kberis deal 2 weeks ago. When he forced the file open, a video appeared, Arthur Clemens, Renata's mentor, in shadow, speaking to Landon Valerius. Once she signs, the board flips. I'll make sure of it. Nate's stomach turned. The traitor was sitting on her board. He copied the file twice, hid one backup on a micro SD card, and called Renata. You need to see this, he said. Minutes later she watched the betrayal unfold on the office screen. For the first few seconds she didn't move, then the color drained from her face. Arthur, she whispered. After everything? The silence cracked into fury. He'll burn for this. Nate kept his voice level. He's feeding Valerius every move. The clause isn't a mistake, it's a handover. Renata straightened, grief replaced by command. Then we strike back. Quietly. She summoned Evelyn Reed, her father's retired counsel, a legend in corporate law. Evelyn arrived within the hour, sharp eyes scanning the evidence. He used indemnity ambiguity as a weapon, she said. Fine. We'll mirror it. Together they built a reciprocal poison pill clause, buried so deep in compliance jargon no one would notice. When Valerius triggers his buyout, Evelyn explained, the assets will legally default to Kensington. He'll implode his own empire. Ranata smirked. Poetic. Nate refined the digital triggers, ensuring their amendment would activate instantly. Ranata asked, how do we slip this into the final draft? Evelyn answered, through Arthur. He'll think it's his idea. Nate's plan was simple and ruthless. They would plant a fake memo about a new EU regulation flaw, make Arthur believe the deal risked collapse, and then offer him their hidden fix as the perfect solution. He'll steal it, Nate said, and deliver it himself. Late that afternoon, Ranata left the memo on a lounge table, walked out, and watched on a camera feed as Arthur discovered it, hesitated, then pocketed it. Hook set. Hours later, he burst into Renata's office, waving the paper. We have a problem, he warned. She feigned anger at her legal team, threatened to delay the signing. Arthur calmed her, promising to handle it. Evelyn entered as the consultant, presenting a single-page amendment, their trap wrapped in legal jargon. Arthur scanned it, saw nothing but technical language, and smiled. I'll deliver this to Landon myself. When he left, the three exchanged a look. Ranata exhaled. He just signed his own death warrant. Nate stared at the closed door. Now we wait. The next morning began with victory and ended with dread. The bait had worked, Arthur Clemens had delivered their hidden clause straight to Landon Valerius, but when the surveillance audio from their lunch came in, triumph vanished. Landon's voice came through clear, even if Kberis fails, the Argent protocol will finish her. Nate froze. Argent, he whispered. Ranata frowned. What is it? Nate's reply was hollow. It's not a plan, it's a weapon. My weapon. He explained how years ago, before his downfall, he'd built an algorithm named Argent, designed to predict market volatility before it happened. Landon had stolen it and reversed its function. Now it could create volatility, triggering automated crashes. The Kberis deal wasn't the bomb, it was the detonator. Ranata absorbed the truth, her composure like glass under strain. If I sign, it triggers. Your digital signature completes the activation key, Nate said. Evelyn was grim. And if we don't sign? Then Landon's hostile bid proceeds, and with Arthur controlling the board, you lose anyway. Checkmate. Renata's voice hardened. Then we find a third option. Nate searched his memory for something, anything, and then remembered the night he built Argent, the paranoia that had driven him to code a failsafe. There is a kill switch, he said. A hidden sequence of microtrades that makes the algorithm think the system is collapsing. If I execute it, Argent shuts itself down. Evelyn asked, can you run it from here? No, Nate replied. It requires a direct terminal link to the exchange server. Low latency. And a trader I can trust to execute 17 orders in under 3 seconds without flagging regulators. He thought of one name. Marcus Cole. Ranata ordered her assistant to locate him. Within minutes they had an address. Marcus was now a senior partner at a boutique trading firm. Nate called him. The line was cold. You vanished for 6 years, Nate. The world thinks you're a fraud. I was framed. Landon did it. He's about to destroy another company using Argent. Silence stretched, then Marcus said, you expect me to risk everything on your word? No, Nate said quietly. I expect you to remember the code only you and I understood. Another pause, then Marcus exhaled. Grand Street Cafe. 1 hour. When they met, Nate laid everything out, the stolen algorithm, the Kberis trap, the 48-hour deadline, his daughter's illness. Marcus listened, eyes hard but understanding dawning. He weaponized your creation, he muttered. Then let's end him with it. They returned to Kensington together, assembling the final plan. Ranata would go to the signing as scheduled, buying time with Evelyn's legal theatrics, while Nate and Marcus executed the 17-trade kill sequence the moment her signature hit the network. Margin for error? Marcus asked. 0, Nate said. Renata's expression was pure resolve. Then we do not miss. She looked at both men. You stop the weapon. I'll face the monsters who built it. The next day, while the city prepared for another routine Friday, Kensington Enterprises prepared for war. Friday arrived like a loaded weapon. At 3 p.m., the boardroom at Kensington Enterprises filled with power, Ranata seated across from Landon Valerius and Arthur Clemens, every executive watching the duel in silence. Across the city, Nate Rowe and Marcus Cole stood before glowing terminals, the kill switch sequence armed and waiting. 17 trades, 3 seconds, Nate said. Once she signs, execute. In the boardroom Landon tapped the screen. Let's conclude this, shall we? Arthur handed her the pen, his voice soft. It's over, Ranata. She smiled faintly. Not yet. On Marcus's monitor the Argent algorithm flickered awake, an electric heartbeat buried in the market. Now, Nate whispered. Ranata pressed the pen to glass. Marcus hit the keys, 17 trades fired in under 3 seconds. The system convulsed, flashed red, and went still. Integrity breach detected, a synthetic voice reported. Recursive shutdown initiated. Argent flatlined. At that exact instant, Renata's signing tablet froze. Arthur frowned. Connection issue? Landon's eyes widened. No, that's impossible. Ranata set the pen down, calm as stone. It's over, Landon. Every phone in the room vibrated at once, alerts, trading halts, stock freezes. Valerius Dynamics was collapsing live. Ranata opened her laptop and played the video, Arthur's voice confessing his conspiracy with Landon. The board erupted. Arthur slumped in disbelief, Landon lurched forward, shouting, "This is fabrication." Security entered before he reached her. Evelyn Reed stepped in behind them, holding a folder. These documents have already been filed with the authorities, she said coolly. Ranata faced Arthur. You built this trap. You just forgot who taught me how to spring one. Guards escorted the two men out as the room fell silent. 1 week later the headlines read Valerius Dynamics under investigation for market fraud. Arthur cooperated for immunity, Landon was indicted. Renata's company not only survived but ascended. In her office she handed Nate a folder. Head of Risk Strategy, she said. He blinked. You're serious? You rebuilt what they tried to break, she answered. He signed, this time owning his future. Evelyn entered. Zurich assets have cleared, and your daughter's fund is secured. Nate's breath caught. She's recovering. She's stable, Evelyn confirmed. Ranata smiled. Good. Keep her that way. The next storm won't wait long. That night, alone in his office, Nate placed a small black drive on the desk, the final copy of Argent. He considered destroying it, then slipped it into an envelope marked archive. Ranata appeared in the doorway. Can't sleep. Just making sure ghosts stay quiet. They never do, she replied. Then we stay louder, he said. He powered down the monitor. As he turned to leave, the drive blinked once, one faint blue pulse. Nate stopped, smiled. Good night, Argent.